Senator Tyrrell, back on King Island.
Woo, we love King Island, Wade.
Why is that?
Because it's the most beautiful part of the world and the people here are so real, it hurts.
Real as in?
As in, they're not scared to call a spade, a shovel, and if you need a backhoe, I think they'll go and find one to bury the bodies.
But I just saw you talking to a few people in the pub here and they didn't swear at you, did they?
No, they only swore with kindness and to give me a really broad and honest question, which was great. I was coming to King Island thinking, nah, nobody wants to talk to a federal politician and ask questions about politics. But you know what? King Island are actually politically aware and very engaged.
What was outstanding? Like where you had a question and you thought, whoop.
Oh, one man asked me about taxing a big business and I'm like, dude, that's above my pay grade. I've got people that are cleverer than I. So I
didn't know we had big business on King Island.
Well, you
Maybe
don't.
We have them.
It was a golfer, to be honest.
Oh,
it was a golfer from Newcastle who owned quite a large business. But I redirected the question back to the taxpayer that are middle to lower class, as in white to blue collar. Because they're the ones that fund Australian taxes the most. They're the ones that pay the most tax out that the federal government allocates to causes.
Now, in general, you also know King Island now a little bit. When a politician comes to King Island, it's often, what are you here for?
They all think I'm here because there's an election coming. There's no election coming. I actually like King Island and I want to engage with people and understand the problems that they're facing, which on King Island is planes, the cost of groceries and importing, exporting stuff across from the big island and the little island, and generally employment as well, and getting stuff to build houses, to upgrade businesses, industry, which, you know what, I understand, I get it.
But at the same time, I remember last time we spoke, last year, April, you led the inquiry when it comes to the Freight Equalization Scheme. At the time we talked about, the government has admitted and they will give more support, which they actually have done, which I doubt, to be honest, that some of that would really come to King Island and King Island businesses.
Well, it's been absorbed by the people that charge the freight across the waters. They've actually increased shippage and plane costs.
Do we have any further progress or solution? Or because you said the plan is old as, so it has to be changed.
Yeah.
Are we moving that way? Or?
Well, the process is still all S, as in shite. But the beautiful thing is that last time we spoke to, I was talking about independent reviewers that were going to look into the Freight Equalization Scheme, and they are doing that. And the beautiful thing is that when it started, they were saying that the parameters that currently exist are what they're going to work within. But I talked to them a week ago and I went to the Launceston and the Burnie review where business and industry went and told them the truth. They were saying that they're now looking outside of that they're looking at the problems that people are telling them about because they understand that the current parameters aren't working and that Flinders and King are not being serviced by those, by the Freight Equalization Scheme well.
So what you're saying in a way is that the whole story, what we always call the highway number one, hey, equal for everybody, is still not occurring
definitely ain't equal for everybody, Wade.
No.
Definitely ain't equal. And I think they're slowly coming to understand that because people are telling them exactly what's going on in their world. And that's why I keep on encouraging people to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to be truthful. And we all know that groceries on King Island are exorbitantly high, that if the barge can't come in, nothing's coming in and you've got to wait on the next flight. And as we know, Sharp Airways are reducing their flights in out of Melbourne, so freight coming from Melbourne is even harder to get in because you've got to rely on the flights that are currently available through Rex and Sharp.
Wouldn't be the key element in a way for the Freight Equalization Scheme is to look at how can we simplify it instead of make it difficult as it is, because we have businesses here on the island, they bring a container with goods across and part of that could be Freight Equalization could be applied to it. But they say, I'm not going to go through this whole container
It's
to
too
find
hard.
the bids
Yeah.
because it's not worth it.
Look, elders on the island are actually doing a great community service by doing
They do,
claims
yeah.
for a lot of people. But there was an example in the Burnie Independent Review the other day. There's a beekeeper, I think it's called Apiarist, and they were saying that they did 15 to 20 hours worth of admin to get a $35 return because the claim process is so ridiculously hard. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be bothering to do 15 to 20 hours worth of work for $35 return. Not when I could invest more time and energy into my business.
Is that 35 total or 35 per hour?
No, $35 total.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to break that down over the 15 to 20 hours. And my math ain't that good, but it's not a lot. You'd earn more at McDonald's. And I know that the independent reviewers have recognised that the process needs to be simplified and that the database that people utilise needs to be upgraded quite a lot. It actually needs to be totally discarded and started from scratch. And Social Security are at those reviews as well, as in DSS. And I think they're getting into general understanding that we're not trying to attack them and the processes that currently exist, but the program has been around since the 70s and it's only had minor upgrades along the way, and the database is shit.
So that's 50 years at least old now. Do you think it will take 50 to finally have it
Hell
right?
no. Look.
What is your prognosis? What do you think? Because
Well, I think we should
the
have...
political mill doesn't run that fast, so...
No, but I'm determined that I've got 3 more years in this political game at least. And nobody thought that I would get a freight equalisation inquiry up in this term because most politicians don't. And I've got an inquiry up. We've got an independent review up. Both sides of government at the last election made promises to the people of Tasmania to increase the rate. The blue team by 1 year and the red team did 2 years. And the red team got in, so we got 2 years worth of increase, which happenstance, the shipping and the aviation have increased the rate, so that was all absorbed. But I didn't think I'd get this far, and I'm not going anywhere in the next 3 years, and I'm going to keep on pushing. And I believe in the independent reviewers. They are starting to understand a lot more about how this impacts on people.
Understand.
Yeah.
Finding solutions is a different world.
It is a different world, but we're spending a lot of money on this independent review, and they're roaming around Tasmania and talking to many people. And if the federal government want to be re-elected at the next election, they're going to actually have to do something, aren't they? Because there's no guarantee that they will get re-elected without the people of Tasmania. Like, we all know that Bass and Braddon are swing seats.
Yeah.
And they currently hold them.
Look, we've often heard also from government, in the local Tasmanian government, oh, you should buy in Tasmania and then you could do better and this, that and whatever. We talk here with businesses that say, hey, I'm part of a buying group in Melbourne. For me, it's not worth it. Even if it was freighted from Tasmania almost for free, there's no benefit for me because I don't have the power then what I have with my buying group.
Correct.
So there is old relationships that are hard to break, isn't it?
But there's also niche items that people need to do their businesses. Like if you want to do beautiful packaging, sometimes it's not available in Tasmania. If you want to produce a niche product that requires kunza, for example, from Flinders Island, I buy this magnesium cream that has kunza from Flinders Island in it. They should be able to utilise freight equalisation to get from Flinders Island to the mainland of Tasmania. They struggle because it's hard. And you know what? Sometimes you need to buy stuff outside of Tasmania/Australia. There's equipment, manufacturing equipment, that if it's not in the country for 6 months exact, you can't claim it on freight equalisation. And you know what? I don't know about you, but sometimes Germans and the European people make better items for distilling, for brewing, to make perfume, that kind of thing, that we need to import. We can't always buy local.
Here's your opportunity.
Ooh.
Your final words. What would you like to say to the people of King Island?
Look, I came to the people of King Island and did Polly in a pub, Polly in a pint, so as that people could ask me in real time and honestly and truly exactly what they wanted to. And you should be expecting that of all politicians, maybe not in a pub, but you should be openly allowed to ask whatever question you want and get a fair and reasonable answer. And if your politicians aren't doing it, ask the questions anyway, or put them into a position where they need to answer you, but only in a positive and respectful way. Confrontation is part of life, but it doesn't have to be aggressive and horrible.